This is type of extreme weather event conditions that are becoming more frequent due to the climate change, said Dr. Giulia Romano of the Italian Meteorological Agency. Authority warning that there could be more unstable weather in the coming days and urged residents to avoid travel unless necessary. Major Roberto Giuliani promised quick cleanup and infrastructure improvement to better protect city. Social media was flooded with the images of streets covered in hail, broken widespread and flooded alleys. Stark a reminder whether even cities of thousands of years of history are vulnerable of the sudden fury of nature. A meteorological from the Italian Air Force Meteorological Service analyzed this extreme weather as resulting from the unusual collisions between warm Mediterranean air and the cold front moving south from northern Europe. He noted that climate change is increasingly the frequency of such patterns. Forecaster Luca Ferri stated, intense convective activity is occurring frequently, warning that storm could hit neighboring areas over the next few days. The hailstorm also caused delays at Rome Flamenco Airport, with several incoming flights temporarily diverted. City workers that began clearing clothing drain and removing debris to prevent further flooding. As more rain was forecast overnight, experts noted that this storm severe a stark reminder of Italy's vulnerability to rapidly intensify, while the patterns highlighted the growing impact of climate change to southern Europe.
Putain!
Environmental scientists warn that such extreme weather events are part of the trend accelerated climate change. Professor Gianna Volpe of the University of Rome noted the Mediterranean is warming faster than most of the planet. He explained it, warning seas supplied by store the atmosphere near Turin storm, the moisture relentless in emergency as a destructive hail. As Italy begins recovery efforts, authorities have declared a state of emergency in the multiple regions. The damage is estimated to be the hundreds of millions of euros, and the official warned that more extreme weather could continue over the coming weeks. The land were deepened on the gas field destroyed it. Power outage left more than 400,000 homes in the dark. Rail service were suspended and Palermo airport was severely disrupted. Businesses and county millets as losers, with tourism, agriculture and fishing particularly hard hit. Sicily famous citrus groves, olive trees and vineyards were flooded, raising fears to flood and shortage. Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni declared flooding a national emergency, promising immediate funding to military support. We stand with the Sicily, she said. European Union officials also planned to assist with the barriers linking to the disaster and urgent need to action on climate change. Experts warn that climate change is intensifying on severe Mediterranean storms, and warning seas are contributing to more intense rainfall. Dr. Elena Rossi, a climatologist, said, "What we are seeing in Sicily, a venial future is urgent action to take no taking. As the water begins to rescind, thousands of people forced to painful task to rebuilding, standing outside her destroyed homes in Palermo." Surveyor Rosa Ferrara said with the tears in her eyes, "The Sicilians are strong, but the storm was broken our heart." Sicily was hit a severe storm that swept across the island overnight, causing torrential rain, storms, winds, and widespread flooding. Palermo, Catania, and several smaller towns were worst affected, with the streets turned into raging rivers, and entire neighborhoods were left without power. Residents reported panic as the water flooded historic city center. It was terrible. In a matter of minutes, the water rose above the car's doors. We had to abandon the vehicles, said Salvatore Russo, the driver from Palermo. Emergency service carried out dozens of rescue operations, including rescuers, families trapped in their homes, and motorists stuck in the underpasses. Authority temporarily closed schools and government offices in several municipalities as prediction. The Sicily Civil Protection Agency declared a highest level of water alert. At least one hospital of Catania reported flooding in the lower floors, forcing staff and a relocate pedant. The storm also dealt a serious blow to agriculture. Imagine a leaf grows, citrus, orange, and vineyards were left to bloodborne the island economy. Farmers estimated to damage of millions of euros, further complicating the situation in a region that already struggled with the drought to binging of a year. Flights to and from Palermo to Catania airports were delayed and cancelled, and ferry service between Sicily and mainland Italy was suspended to several hours due to rush seas. Meteorologists are linking this storm to a powerful Mediterranean cyclone, sometimes called the Medican, from the form to the warm seawater full intense weather system. Experts warn that the climate change is making such events more frequent and destructive. The president of the Sicily region promised rapid assistance to the affected communities, stretching the urgent need to strategically flood protection. This storm has once again demonstrated the vulnerability our island in us. We must do decisively to protect life and livelihood, he said. As Sicily slowly begins to dry up, the real lesson of the storm is being recovered not only in losers but also in dialogue and the growing average in the Mediterranean Sea. One of the candle as calm sea is sunny skies is becoming of the epicenter of the climate disaster. Experts call this a turning point to the urge Southern European government is invest in the climate resilience. Coastal cities such as Palermo and Catania, densely populated, are reaching a culture heritage, particularly vulnerable to rising sea levels, increasing rainfall to heat waves. The Mediterranean Sea is warming 20% faster than the global average, said Dr. Elena Morandi, the climate researcher of University of Rome. This storm was not a fluke. This is part of the trend we are seeing more intense, more frequent, more destructive. International observers from UNESCO have experienced concerns about Sicily historical monuments, many of which were flooded or damaged during this storm. The Brockway tributaries of Noto and ancient Greek ruins are still nude, and new part of the parts surrounding Mount Etna were affected. In the second turn of event, Italy was thrown into chaos as a Versa storm wreaked havoc across the picturesque landscape of Sicily and Rome. The unrelated tempest, reminiscent of a scene of Dante's Inferno, left a trail of destruction in its wake, testing the resilience of these Italian people and their determination of republic their beloved cities. Sicily, now in the straddling Mediterranean coastal line and historic curve, is almost hardest hit by violent tempest. The island, unusually a sure weather, were charred in the turbulent sea of fury, pouring the curse and related force. Torrential rain, accompanied by gale force wind, battered the region, caused widespread flooding, triggering landscape and uprooted centuries-old trees. Video posted on social media showed hailstones up to 15 centimeters in the side, with the Romans cleared sidewalks and shovels and brooms. Tourists near Colosseum and Trevi Fountain took shelters under umbrellas, captured dramatic footage and marble-sized ice balls bouncing for the ancient stones. Authority urged cautions for the nighttime. Temperatures dropped, tuning wet streets in a dangerously slippery surface. Public transport was severely disrupted, with the trams and buses delayed for hours. Rome Major Roberto Gallieri praised emergency service for their rapid response and promised to investigate the city drainage infrastructure, with a case long be critical for the instability to the cope with a sudden downpour. Rome is facing for more frequent and intense weather events. We must adapt our system. Climatologists note that extreme weather events, including hailstorms in the southern Europe, have increased by 14% for the past decade. This is a clear signal for climate change, warned Dr. Giulia Bianchi at the University of Bologna. Yesterday, Rome was hit by unexpected and violent hailstorm that transformed its street square in the ancient monument into a surreal winter scene. In a matter of minutes, dark clouds unleashed hailstorm the size of a golf ball, torrential rain, strong winds forced residents to seek shelter. It was like a scene from a movie, but a horrible rare, and said Marco Bianchi, who filmed hailstorm, bridged off cars near Piazzanova. People were running for cars and the cars were damaged before anyone could reach. The storm caused widespread flooding, with the water pouring down Via del Corso and the side streets near Trastevere. Cars were submerged, basements flooding, and several trees were uprooted. Firefighters were reported, more than 600 emergency calls, regional blocked cars, falling debris and power outage. The storm did not spur Rome's historic landmark. The Colosseum and Trevi Fountain were partly covered in hail, and St. Peter's Square suffered minor flooding. Tourists and locals sought shelter via pelmet window, and the storm weather quickly went viral. Meteorologists explained the storm as a supercell phenomenon caused by the warm Mediterranean air colliding with a cold northern front. Venice, Italy, the famous floating city, was once again have been brought to a knee, a wrath of nature. During the night, a powerful storm hit Venice, accompanied by torrential rain, strong winds and severe flooding, which left much of the city underwater. Waves crashed into a lagoon and gusts reached speed of over 100 km/h, raising the sea level on this highest point in this year. Residents are awakened to a howling wind and southern on series of cities moist. A flooding protection system was activated to protect Venice with the rising waters. Despite the borough's severe areas, including St. Mark's Square and the rail tow, were flooded. We have seen floods before, but this was terrible. The water rose so quickly, said local shop owner Giulia Romano. Those business was knee deep in water. Tourists caught in the sudden storm wandered through the flooded alleys in plastic boats, with the rescue service walking through the night, and the rescue standard residents to the secure boats and a had broken loose after they moored. A violent hailstorm has battered parts of Sicily, transformed sun-shocked towns into city landscape, and caused widespread disruption across the island. The powerful storm struck suddenly on a Tuesday afternoon, hitting Palermo, Catania, and several inland communities with the torrents of rain and a hailstorm as large as a walnut. Within a minute, roads turned white, cars were dented with the flash floods swept through the narrow streets. It looked like a storm in August, said Maria Russa, a shop owner in Catania. The hail came down so fast and hard it broke out out window and filtered the shop floor with water. Emergency crews were destroyed across Sicily as a local authority received hundreds of distress calls. Firefighters worked late into the night, rescued drivers trapped in the submerged vehicles and clearing hail-pocket roads. In Palermo, parts of the Sicily Historic Center were blanketed in ice to 15 centimeters deep, forcing police to close several main roads and tunnels. Meteorologists say the storm was triggered by intense grayish air masses, warm humid to rise from the Mediterranean, colding with a cold front descended from the northern Europe. Businesses and restaurants suffered significant losers as water and ice flooding basements and outdoor terraces. The city farm landmarks from the Colosseum to Pisa Novara, the brilliantly unrecognized shady streets of hail. Agriculture areas surrounding Rome also reported heavy damage. Farmers in Lazio said crops and grapes, olives and artichokes were devastated. Climatologists warned that such sudden and destructive storms are becoming more common across southern Europe due to climate change. The Mediterranean basin is heating faster on the global average, explained Dr. Lena Moretti of Italy National Meteorological Institute. This increases the energy available to violent thunderstorms. As cleanup operations continue, the city faces millions in damage and the stark warning about the vulnerable to extreme weather. The storm throughout lesson test 1 hour will likely be remembered as one of Rome's most severe hail events in the decades. Parts of the southern Italy are trying to recover from the torrential rain that caused a devastating flood in Sicily. Flooding cities, blocked roads and leaving thousands of people without electricity. Officials have called the disaster a national emergency. Within hours, the streets of Palermo, Catania and Messina turned into raging rivers that swept away cars and flooded the first floor to homes and businesses. The Italian Civil Protection Agency reported that more than 115 millimeters of rain fell in less than 20 hours, an amount that usually falls over several months. Local resident Maria Russo told reporters, "The water came so fast that in a matter of minutes my streets turned into river. We didn't have time to have anything." Emergency service rescue families standing on rooftops and firefighters worked throughout the night clearing debris and pumping water out of hospitals and schools. At least 20,000 households were left without power and many villages remain isolated after landslides blocked acid roads. Authorities confirmed several injuries, at least 3 deaths, although death toll could rise in such countries. Public transportation was severely disrupted, leaving passengers stranded. The coastal area faced a boost with a storm and strong wave crashing against the coastline, causing erosions to damage the city finish. Emergency services are working around the clock to help those in need. The Italian Red Cross has mobilized a team to support the most affected areas, offering shelters and distributing basic necessities. Refuse operations are ongoing, with the reports of people trapped in their homes due to rising waters. Helicopters have been deployed to evacuate those to immediate danger. The impact of the storm on agriculture is also a growing concern. Sicily knows the serious growth of vineyard forces potential devastation. Initial estimates suggest significant crop losses, with a could have the long-term economic impact of the region farming communities. Italian Prime Minister Conte has experienced solidarity with the affected residents, pledging government aid to resources to support recovery efforts. He praised the resilience of the Sicilian people and terrorist forced rescues. Meteorologists predict severe weather conditions will continue Catania over the next 24 hours in advance residents to remain vigilant. As Sicily struggles with the aftermath and the disaster of focus to ensure the safety of the residents is beginning to arduous task to rebuilding. The full extent of the damage will become clear in the coming days, but for now Sicily is widespread the storm relentless onslaught.